Hey, how you doing, guys? Back again, continuing on with this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday Arturo Fuente stuff. Um, Cigars, not stuff. Um, anyway, this one right now that I'm going to do is the Arturo Fuente, Don Carlos, Eye of the Shark, Cameroon wrapper, Dominican binder and filler with a couple little elevated twists. This was Cigar Aficionado's 2017 number one. Okay, it scored a 97. And he doesn't, he's very unorthodox the way he does it. What makes this different is that the bottom here is rounded and the front end, let's call it the foot end, is boxed. Okay. That's what makes this a little different. Um, but it absolutely has an effect and an impact on the flavor. It really, really does. Okay. So we're going to remove it from the cellophane and let's take a look at this wrapper, huh? I think I should turn on more lighting, but you could see it, right? I mean, it's a really, really nice wrapper. Um, its construction is always right the heck on, okay? Um, so we're gonna give it a straight cut. I like my straight cut. When it's this type of figurado like this, okay, uh, let's just call it a torpedo shape for right now, okay? Um, the whole point is to funnel the smoke inward to focus it in on different areas of your palate. You don't cut it here. I don't care how much wrapper you got. You don't cut it there. You always cut minimally. Minimally. You never go nuts with the cuts, okay? Then if you need more on it, um, take a little bit more, but you'll have the room, right? Uh, when you're at home, not in, and especially with someone else's cutter, like at a lounge, and you've heard it before. I'm just being redundant with the info, okay? You don't lick it all over, put your slobber on it, and then use someone else's cutter or a lounge cutter. You just don't do that, okay? Um, but the reason why that's sometimes a good idea. Now, my sticks are absolutely, this whole room sits at 69 like clockwork. I use a cigar medic every now and then, not all the time. Okay, I put it in there. All right, and I'm getting a nice. I know you can't see it here. Okay, and I don't know what to do about that. But believe me, it says 63. Okay, 63 at the foot. If I were to pierce it here, and if you remember my other video, I get hives when I put holes in my wrapper. For some reason, I have a reaction. So I don't do that. Okay, but over here, um, it's going to be around 70, roughly. The air's got nowhere to go, right? Uh, so that's what I do. So I know that it's good. So I don't actually have to slobber on this guy because it's as moist as I want it to be. Uh, so we're gonna go ahead and just give it ju- I mean, if you could see how much I'm taking off, I'm almost taking off nothing, okay? And that's the way it should be, all right? I'm not saying it's gonna work right now. You need the draw. The draw is key, okay? But you start with that, okay? It's tight, okay? That's a tight draw. So you go a little further back, give it a little like you're cutting the line a little bit. All right, right on. Okay, very good. So now we take do I have to use an Arturo Fuente lighter for our Don Carlos? Okay, I went ahead and got the appropriate lighter, just out of respect for the brand, okay? I don't want to use just like a regular standard common lighter. I want to use the exclusive one of these guys, okay? Uh, it has a better flame, um, and it lights the cigar up a lot better. Not okay. Also, I want to show you guys how I light my stick, okay? As you've heard a million times, never actually get the flame on the cigar. Uh, and what you do, just rotate it around. All right, get a nice glow going. Make sure that binder and wrapper um, are kind of welding together, but not quite. You're trying to get them to ignite at the same time, okay? That's what you're really trying to do. All right, I have ceiling fans on right now. That's why the smoke sways. All right, and once it's nice and glowing there, you air it out, okay? That's called airing it out to remove the toxins in it. Not toxins, just whatever. You're airing it out, okay? Do that again. And to be quite honest with you, this is all I do. I never do this. Light the flame and suck in. Different kind of Cameroon here. The reason why I don't do that, they tell you don't make the flame, don't char the cigar, right? Yeah, they tell you that, and then at the end, you put the lighter right here, and as you're puffing it and doing that, a flame is created, charring the wrapper. Barnyard, haze, some cream right off the bat. Pepper up front, okay, especially through the retro. Now, I had a Hemingway with the Cameroon wrapper. Um, I've had the signature, I've had the short story. I'm doing an Arturo Fuente weekend, and it, distinctly different. It just goes to show you the same farm, same African Cameroon, but where you pick it from, the different primings, where you get it from, just changes everything. And the Vitola, okay, that's going to affect it as well. Okay, I'm still getting very nice. This is very nice smoke indeed. I'm gonna smoke it to about here, and then I'll let you know how it went. Okay, but I'm sure it's gonna go nice. This is a good cigar. Okay, it really is. So here we are. Um, around here, a little wavy. Okay. That's because the guy who lit it, he thought he was a sommelier or something. But anyway, no, just kidding. It's the right way to do it. All right. Just like when you go out to a picnic and they tell you to light the charcoal briquettes, you wait till they're white ash before you start putting your food over it. The same thing with flaming up a cigar or getting that huge flame out of the puff at the top of it. It chars it, and you don't want that in your mouth. Uh, you can always wash out your mouth, I guess. You're not inhaling it, right? I hope. Um, but what happens is that material, like soot, it coats the leaves. It'll change the cigar's flavor, and it does. Okay? And it does. Usually Don Carlos has got some baking spice associated with it. Um, this one in the beginning you could sort of detect it, but it was just the barnyard, some cream, some butter to it. Um, then like a quarter inch in, it picked up with those traditional baking spice and citrusy notes, and just it all melds in, and it's just this is just the first third, okay? And it's smoking so nice, so nice. This is why I like Arturo Fuente products. You can always kind of count on the construction, count on the drawer, count on this label removing properly without you needing a jackhammer. Um, but they can burn a little wavy. Okay, I see that with Lost City a lot. It's like such a bad burn and bad ash. But this is look at this ash. I mean, that's ash. Okay, that's ash. And because I have ceiling fans, a good thing to do when you're in an area where there's a wind blowing a certain direction, like right now, you see the smoke going to my right. Uh, you rotate it. The draft can do one of two things: give it extra oxygen to burn more, or cool it to burn less. Can you imagine that? Go figure that. I'm not going to figure that out. So what I'm going to do is every 2 or 3 puffs, rotate, rotate, rotate. That's what I do. Okay. Eventually, should kind of I'll rule out the draft, if anything. Okay. It'll rule out the draft. Anything else is construction. Okay. I'll be back about here. Before I take off the band, I want to show you that I am right about this band coming off nicely because all Arturo Fuente cigars, all the ones I've had, the band comes off like a charm. Um, Other than that, bacon spices all over the place. Some earth, citrus, sweetness to it, a little white pepper on the palate. The retro presents itself with some nuts, cashew, I'll even go as far as saying. Really, really pleasant smoke. Absolutely. He goes all out. You got the African Cameroon going for it with the nice balance between spices and sweetness. Um, then, his backyard, his fields, he could do, these are premium tobaccos that some are aged more than others and some qualify for better sticks. Just like a lot like the regions in Cuba, only certain regions, only certain farms can be called Habana. Okay, period. You go to Pinar Rio, all the way in the West End there, that zone there. We've got quite a few farms that are Habana rated. Um, so you have different areas, and he does the same thing on a smaller scale. I mean, he doesn't own the island, but he's got what he needs to put out. The sticks that he does for his empire. Okay, being the patriarch now. Um, I'm going to also smoke some. They call it Fuente Arturo A's. Okay, really long sticks, very nice. Hard to get box. I'm gonna go ahead and smoke one of them for the Arturo Fuente weekend. Yay! Magic in every puff. Yeah, very nice. Like I said, it's trying to correct itself. It's trying to do the right thing back here, but there's definitely a little bit of a lift on the wrapper there, right where that warping was that I saw. As you're burning this, one of the byproducts of combustion is water. Increased water um, is going to be produced. Water will be produced. But this is turning out to be a really, really nice smoke. Lots of body. I would say medium strength. Um, and to me, body is the intensity of the flavor. People have different opinions. People that know way more than I do think differently, but that's the way I interpret it. Okay, to me, body is just the intensity of the smoke itself, the experience that you're getting. Okay, strength, as soon as you go green around the gills, you're gonna know. Okay, as far as ashing goes, um, if it doesn't want to come off, uh, don't make it come off. And I always say it depends on the venue. You don't want to be dropping ash all over somebody's beautiful flagstones. And you're in a pool area, ash as much as possible. Um, Nudge it off if you must, but just remember that the ash serves the purpose of insulating the wrapper, maintaining the heat there consistent. Um, so you get a much better burn, believe it or not, by extending the life of the ash on your cigar. And to determine if it's ready to be ashed, I do just a very simple thing. I give it ever such a light tap, and it didn't want to come off. But when you do that, you also weaken it, right? So as soon as you step away and the camera's still on, it falls. Hopefully not mine. Did you see that? Right in front of you. And you see how it's doing there? Okay. So we're gonna correct that. We're gonna have to. If you want to enjoy the rest of the smoke, no pride here. Soft flame. You don't have to do anything to that inside. It's hot. Okay. That's it. Mm. Every now and then I take a I'll do a cleaning out. Okay. And what I mean by that is I push the smoke out. It's just any kind of impurities, especially after an ash, just gets rid of them. Okay. Wow. All right. So now we're going to take the band off. Okay. I'm getting real close here. It's warm enough from around the area where if any kind of glue needed to be softened up to take it off, it would. But in my experience with Arturo Puente, his wrappers just come off um, quite nicely. Okay. Um, just got to get it to lift up. Once you get something going there, okay, begin to pull on it. Uh, just pull slow. We don't yank these things. Just pull. Okay. Uh, uh, Let's not worry about that. Keep rotating. It will come off. It's usually much cleaner than this, but what he won't do is take any wrapper with him. Okay. But usually it's a clean band that you can get off of his cigars, but never. I haven't come across it yet where I'm pulling on wrapper. Okay. So that's important to me. Nice smoke. I know I've said that 100 times, but it really is. When it's nice, it's nice, you know? Um, the the African Cameroon, as I mentioned before, is an expensive wrapper, and he uses it because it just works for him. A lot of his sticks incorporate that. Um, he also obviously has his own, like we were talking about before, and he uses a lot of Ecuador. Um, some Sumatra and sun grown from there. And as we're and as I'm smoking it down, I'm also what I'm getting out of it also is there is some change in the intensity of the baking spices. The pepper is just showing up a little bit on the palate, okay? Um, and that's to be expected, okay? It'll do that, but and that's we're getting to the end of the box press and getting closer to where it's just round, okay? He calls it eye of the shark because supposedly when you look at it, it's supposed to kind of resemble a shark. So that's why he calls it that. Um, this is made at the Tabacalera Fuente with a Y, CIA. Um, and it's a this particular smoke here, size on it, oh, just wonderful. This is just wonderful. The size on it is 5 3/4 by 52. Um, and great stuff. I'm going to come down to about here and let you know if I'm going to continue, and then you'll know that I'm enjoying it for real. Okay, when we get down to the nub. Hey, so I'm sitting back here enjoying this smoke. Heat is building up on it. Okay, kind of difficult unless I use a tip, which I do privately where no one can see me using it. Um, I don't know why, but I enjoy the tips as opposed to poking holes. You know how I feel about poking holes on wrappers. I just take the tip. Can't do this with a box press, obviously, with a box press because it's suction out of the sides. It's not a perfect round, and this might not work. But yeah, it's fine. It resolves the heat issue quite nicely. As it reached this rounded area, flavors toned down quite a bit. Um, and I won't be smoking it too much longer. And it's been a really good stick. It's like $12, 12.50 when you can find it. It's often on back order. It's shown on websites or just not available. Okay. Right now, if you go online, you could find it, you know, but it is a good smoke. Really fine smoke. Guys, thank you for allowing me to share this with you, okay? Thank you for watching and subscribe. or follow. Okay? Thank you.